What is up, YouTube? Pierce Damage, owner of Lex Pyerse Clothing. I mean, y'all see the hat. If you like it, I have it down in the description. But I want to do another review on this brother right here. His name is Auston. What's his last name? Auston Hollemon? Holman? Holman. Let me know if I said that right, and I apologize for butchering it. So this brother's talking about we should move to Kenya. And I want to see why he thinks that. You know, Kenya is one of the places I'm thinking about moving to, getting out of America for a while. And also, I want to know more about Kenya. You know, I want to know more about Pan-Africanism, and I want to know Pan-African in this kind of way. Like, how do you, you know, live, you love, you like, you know, you laugh. That's what I want to know about. That's how I want to know Pan-Africanism. So, I want to do a little review on this brother here, and let's see where we go.
Solomon, why did you move to Kenya?
I came to Kenya after I started in Tanzania. Tanzania was my first country in Africa. And I was there for 5 weeks and I met some Kenyan women that were on my show, and they told me you would love Nairobi. You should visit Nairobi. And I was going to go to Madagascar or Mozambique after Tanzania. But they had influenced me so much and pumped my head up. So I came to Nairobi, and the minute I got off the plane, I instantly loved it. The minute I got in the city and I saw how the people were dressed, I saw the people were very social and friendly. The women were beautiful. The food was amazing. The music was a vibe. You know, it was very modern compared to where I came from in Tanzania. Tanzania still had a lot of dirt roads in a lot of places. But if you come here,
I mean, that's a good reason for me to move move there. So
here, it's very modern. And if you're an American, it's not going to be that much of a culture shock. So it was being around a bunch of, if I could say, civilized black people.
yeah,
Let's say it, right? So then I went to I still, you know, I try places and I like them, but I still go to other places. And even if I do like a place, I still experiment. That's why I've been doing a lot of jumping around, because I would have never found Nairobi if I would have been a guy that just stays in one place when he likes it and doesn't try anything else. So I went to Uganda, went to Rwanda, and then I came back here. And then I went to
so I like that. He knew he wanted to be there. He tried different locations and then came to settle on this one. Okay.
Zambia, and I came back here. And I went to Ghana and Senegal, and then I came back here. And then I went to Thailand, and I came back here. Then I went around to all 4 continents, went around the world. I went to Europe. I went to Eastern Europe. I went to Western Europe. I went through just about all of South America. And I went back to North America, the United States. And what it did was, I got a second trip going back to my first love, which was Brazil and South America in general. And I figured out, you know, damn, okay, I really do like it. But I would always compare, how did I feel when I was in Nairobi? Would I have dealt with this in Nairobi? There were certain aspects of things like racism that I started to notice in other parts of the world.
Now, as a black man in America, racism is huge. Like, I don't want to, if I move out of this country, I don't want to deal with racism at all. I mean, okay, I heard xenophobia is just as bad as racism. I don't know, but that's one big thing I don't want to deal with. And I'm actually really liking what this brother is doing. You know, he basically been around what 4 different continents, maybe 5 continents, and he's like, man, this is the one that's actually working for me. This is the one that's actually really working for me. And what I'm noticing is when he left and came back, or when he left and checked those other places out, he was comparing everything to Nairobi. So I can kind of see why he's like, this is probably the better place to be.
And I'm like, oh, that really wasn't an issue when I was in Kenya, obviously for a reason, because who's going to be, I mean, maybe if we're talking about some other foreigner from another continent, maybe so, but I don't think a Kenyan has any possibility to be racist towards another black. It just doesn't happen. But if you're in somewhere like Brazil, that does happen. If you're in somewhere like Uruguay, that does happen. Those both places I love, but it still is what it is. So whenever I started weighing my pros and cons of each individual place, this place was the best place. And where, yes, it has cons. It's nowhere is perfect. People aren't perfect anywhere in the world. But the pros are so great that the cons are almost invisible.
Okay.
And while we climb this mountain, I want to tell you guys about Shopify.
I mean, if his goal was to sell me on moving to Kenya, he just did.
Like climbing mountains.
Like,
So tell me about the fears and challenges you had to overcome to make this move?
Honestly, I'm not. When I moved here, which is now, I have already been traveling around the world, so I didn't have any real fears. Not really worried about nothing. It's not an unsafe place. I'm not worried about any political disaster going on here. I know some people are worried about protests. I've been in Kenya during several protests. I'm a wholehearted believer that if you only will experience those if you go to those. Like they're not, this isn't some movie where they're coming into a neighborhood like this, jumping over buildings with,
Which is funny because that's what I was thinking happened out there. So you're telling me you can move to Kenya, say in Nairobi, and be to yourself, you will be mixed up in all the drama in there. Okay.
P90s and Spears or whatever you want to call it. This isn't Scarface. This isn't, that type of stuff is not happening. Wherever that movie is where they had the hotel, that's not happening. Just protests. I mean, we had the same thing happen in the States with Donald Trump. That happened. That happens all the time with George Floyd. So that's
actually a good point. Because if you look at the news when George Floyd happened, you think the whole country was burning, but truth be told, that was like I was in Los Angeles. It was riot. I mean, there was not some riots, but there was some protests in Los Angeles, and that was all downtown. That was all the Hollywood area. Maybe Lamar Park and all that stuff was protesting, but where I was at, nobody was protesting. Matter of fact, there was some people who lived in the valley, San Fernando and Calabasas area, Woodland Hills area. They actually drove to downtown to protest. But outside of that, there wasn't too much protesting going on. So I could kind of see, like, okay, that kind of made sense where you could be in an area where you won't have to worry about any drama.
We look at, and I heard Nomad Capitalist saying this earlier, we look at stuff that goes on in like the United States, and we're like, oh, it's just another protest. But if it happens in Kenya, or if it happens in Brazil, we think that country is about to turn to shit. And it's the same thing. So I didn't have any real fears. But if I was a first-time traveler, I had never been out of the country, I would say maybe a fear would be, it's even hard for me to think of why you would be scared to come here, but maybe people would think that, oh, I'm going to get scammed. When honestly, if you ask me personally, out of the 7 African countries I've been to, I think Kenyans are probably going to be the most trustworthy out of all 7 countries I've been to. There may be another country, but
Okay, that's interesting. Because unfortunately, and I hate to say this, but the first thing people are going to say is, well, if you go to Africa, you're going to get scammed. It's like, well, y'all get scammed in America. Y'all not leaving America, But so it's good to know that he felt real safe about being in Africa and not being scammed. Which you started traveling. Like, I only been to Ghana once, so I don't want to act like I've been to Africa, up and down Africa. But just going to one other country, you say to yourself, man, you know what? A lot of stuff I learned in America weren't quite adding up. Like the 2 countries I've been to was Ghana and Brazil, and in both those countries, it's like you're not gonna get scammed. In fact, you might be safer in those countries than you are here half the time.
haven't been there yet. And you can get scammed in Africa, yes, just by trying to buy land or eat at a restaurant. But that bullshit that you deal with in Africa is at a minute level when you come to Nairobi.
What would you say would be the benefits of living in Kenya, quality of life?
Number one, we're going to talk about food. I ate.
Okay, before he says it, I'm gonna guess he's gonna say the food is way better because there's food in America that is banned and outside of America. So there's that. And I remember when I was in Ghana, whew, the pineapple was really sweet. The fruits had seeds in it, which I don't remember the last time I had fruit with seeds in it. If they are, like the watermelon actually had like the black and white seeds, whereas in America it was just the white seeds. So actually, I don't think there were white seeds in a watermelon in Ghana. I think they were just the black seeds.
At Village Market Mall, and I ate some tacos out of a restaurant that wasn't even Mexican. This isn't Mexico, and those were some of the best tacos, if not the best tacos. No, they weren't the best, but they were some of the best. They were better than they were supposed to.
He had Mexican food in Nairobi? I would not have guessed that.
We've been eating, I know you like leg of lamb. We've been eating
Yes,
that
I do.
all the time.
Mm.
We ate that yesterday. All the food is very fresh and organic. You can tell that it hasn't been destroyed by all these chemicals that we put in the United States and designed for you to just stay hungry. You actually eat and you're done. You don't need, there's no processing that makes you want to eat, and then look like how some of y'all do in the States where y'all 400 and 500 pounds. Now, to say that the food is only, that we ate, we really just, that restaurant we just ate at today, where we had calamari, leg of lamb, and like a, what was it, a chocolate cake you had?
Mm-hmm.
All that together was like $30.
The leg of lamb in America by itself is $30 on a good day. And that depends on where you go. Um, I think there is like a Mediterranean short shop here down the street from my house. And I think the leg of lamb, the lamb there, I don't know if it's leg of lamb, but just the lamb in general is like $24. And it's like maybe 4 pieces of lamb. I think some rice and hummus with it. And mind you, it's pretty good. It's worth the money. But like I said, that's just one thing. He had like 3 different things and a chocolate cake. You know what I mean? Like for $30. Like you don't get that out here.
For both of us. For both of us.
And it's for 2 people. I just said one. I said $24 for one plate. He said all that for 2 people.
So it's relatively cheap to be here, and I know it's cheap. Some people like to say, "Oh, Turkey is cheap." I call bullshit on that.
Mm-hmm.
Portugal is cheap. I call, if you're referring to Europe, is cheap. On a worldwide scale, it's not cheap. I call bullshit on that too. Now these prices would be similar to a place like Brazil, but this is Brazil without the danger. You know, this is Brazil without the racism. You know, it's certain things that,
if you've ever dreamed of owning an apartment complex and you live near one of these,
Like I said, I'm already sold to go there. I gotta go at least check it out. You know what I
for a
mean?
master class that came to my area.
I just, in South America, that I couldn't see myself permanently dealing with, and that's why I'm here.
What would you say would be the practical tips for moving, steps to move?
Actually, let me go back to that question you asked. Here's another benefit of being here. Is the second part is the people, okay? Everybody's friendly. Like you said, we went and hung out at a club last night. There was no tension.
None.
It doesn't feel like you feel like you can literally speak to anybody when you're in Nairobi.
Which is so important to me. If I want to leave LA and kind of go to another country, I want to be able, like, okay, I don't want to make it seem like gotta talk to me. People gotta like me. I'm not saying that, but it would be nice to go out somewhere and not have to worry about saying the wrong thing or being part of your clique or trying to impress you. I mean, I'm not saying I'm trying to do anything. I just want to have a conversation because you're there. You know, I do miss that. So.
The other countries I've been to, there's some place where it feels like you can speak to most people, but not everybody. This is everybody you feel like you could speak to. I don't think I've ever had a scenario where I felt like there was nobody there was somebody in Nairobi that I couldn't approach and ask for directions. You know, that's so we call that peace of mind. When life is about people, and if you can get along with the people around you, you have a peace of mind. The reason why the people in the United States don't have a peace of mind is because y'all can't get along with each other. Men and women, just as a whole society, people generally don't get along there.
No, we don't. We generally don't. But I'm gonna pause it here. I'm gonna divide this video into 2. I would like to do one long one, but divide it into 2, and then we'll come back with part 2.